being here. I'm Diane. Today is going to be our last remote boot camp class. So if you want to work out with me, now you got to show up in person. We'll do kettlebells in person with music. So get ready. But today we're going to do an AMRAP style workout. So as many reps as possible or as many rounds as possible. So that means I'm going to set the clock for 4-minute intervals. We're going to do 5 4-minute intervals. And each interval is going to have 2 exercises. And I'm going to give you a number of reps and you're going to just roll through those reps and exercises as many times as you can in the 4-minute period. Okay, so I'm going to be using a set of 10-pound weights. I also have a 20-pound kettlebell that I'll be using. Whatever you have is fine. So if you want to pause the video and go grab something, it doesn't matter if it's 5-pound weights, you can grab a laundry jug, gallon container, fill it up with water, like whatever you have. So now's a good time to go grab those, but we'll start with a little bit of a warm up. So find your space and we're going to just come on down, get as low as you can, and hands go on top of the feet. And we're going to just lift the butt up in the air, stretching out those hamstrings. Try and keep the back flat. So if you feel your back start to round, that's kind of the end of your range of motion. This is really good for getting those early morning cracks and pops out of your knees. Thankfully, you probably can't hear mine, but they're there. All right, let's do one more of these. Good, so real quick before we move on, let's come up and do a wide wingspan stretch. So you're gonna come all the way out, feet are far apart, and you're gonna reach right foot to left, or right hand to left foot, and kind of twist. This is one that we do in Ali's class usually. He loves these, if you've ever done Ali's class. So let's do one more on the right side. And then we're gonna just reach up with both arms and come on down. We'll do just 3 of these. So try to do a little back bend there, 2, a little back bend, squeeze the glutes, and down. Okay, good. So come on up, feet are about shoulder width apart. We'll do a couple body weight squats. Again, get out those cracks and pops in the knees. I don't know, maybe if you're under 30, you don't have those cracks and pops, but good. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. And we're gonna do some reverse lunges. So just a couple steps back, lunges, use those arms. Good, we'll do one more on each side. And then we're gonna come up for some jumping jacks. So just enough to get the heart rate up. Good, we're almost there. All right, let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to those reverse lunges, just a few. Good, one more on each side. 1. And then giving just a couple body weight squats. Let's do 3, 2, 1, and we'll do just 5 of those frog squats. And hopefully you're warmed up. 2, 3. Good, last one. All right, great. So make sure you have your stuff. It's chilly out this morning. Okay. So we're going to start with our first set of exercises. Remember, we're going for 4 minutes. The first set of exercises is going to be single leg deadlifts and then alternating presses. So we've done single leg deadlifts before. I'm not going to talk through them too much, but I'll show you. The most advanced version is going to be lifting that back leg up off the ground all the way. If you need a little bit of support, you can just rest your toe and do the same motion. Or if you're close to a wall, you can kind of just hold onto the wall for a little bit of balance. So we're going to do 8 on each side. And then we're going to do alternating presses. So sometimes we use momentum when we're doing alternating presses because we're standing and we can kind of swing around and use our core and everything. So today we're going to take that out and we're going to do kneeling presses. Now, if you don't feel comfortable on your knees, you can also do seated presses or you can do them standing, but we're going to do alternating presses. So we're going to just do one at a time, holding the other arm steady at about 90 degrees. Okay, so you don't want to let it drop while you're waiting for the other side. So hold them up nice and steady. And again, you're going to do 8 on each side. Okay, so you're going to do those at your own pace as many times as you can in the 4-minute interval. We're doing 8 of everything. So 8 on each side of the single leg deadlifts, 8 alternating presses on each side. We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So we're going to start with our single leg deadlifts. This is a great thing to do in the beginning of the workout because as we get tired and we wear out the legs or glutes a little bit, your balance kind of starts to fray. So find a spot on the floor and just stare at that spot. I don't know, I find that helpful. But you're going to lift that foot up. I like to flex the foot in the back, the heel, reaching close or reaching out for the wall behind you. Good. Let me show you from the other side. So if I'm standing on my right leg like I am now, I have the weight in my left hand. Again, flexing that left foot as it goes back and reaches to the wall. So these are definitely not a speed exercise. Your form matters. Good. And then however you want to tackle those single alternating presses, kneeling, seated, standing, whatever you want to do. Keeping that elbow up. You see that my elbow that's not pressing is always waiting at just about 90 degrees here. Good. Counting your 8 on each side. You'll know that sometimes I lose count, so don't go by my count. Actually, I'm going to start on this side this time. Whoop. See, losing my balance. So try to keep your chest wide. Your shoulders are back, so you're not rounding your back. You can see that my back is pretty flat. Good, just keep going. And you'll find that one side is easier than the other. That's pretty normal. You'll feel like your balance is better on one side. So I always feel much better on my left side, where I am now. Good, stay nice and steady. Shoulders are back. Nice work, keep it moving. So let me give you a time check. So you have less than a minute, just under a minute. So just stay in motion. You're almost to the end. Good, so keep that core tight so that you're not flaring your rib cage. It's easy to forget about our core. Okay, so you have 20 seconds left. So whatever you can squeeze in. So here's what I'm gonna do. Just 2 on each side there because I hate finishing and feeling asymmetrical. Good. And that's time. All right, awesome. So 1 interval down. So interval 2, we have skiers, which if you've done this before, you're gonna know what those are, but I'll show you again. And then single arm rows. So you're gonna need your set of weights. So skiers are kind of a version of swings. They're gonna look like this. So your feet are just about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit closer in this case. And you're gonna just kind of sit back and kind of thrust forward, come on up. So it's kind of like a hip hinge movement, almost like a swing, you know, a traditional swing, we go like this. So if you watch my hips, it's kind of doing the same motion, but it's just kind of like a different part of your glutes. So you're gonna do 15 of those, and then, oh, I don't know why I set those down. And then we're going to do single arm rows. So you can either bend over and alternate your rows, just like that. And if that becomes too much, you can do all of them in the same time on one side and then switch to the other side using a chair or whatever you have, up to you. So we're gonna do 8 single arm rows on each side, 15 skiers, and just keep going through. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So hopefully you'll find that these skiers really get your heart rate up. Good, so think about that hip hinge movement. It's not a squat. Your upper body is staying flat and straight. And you can really pick up the pace on these if you've got the motion down. Good. Now you might find that your lower back or glutes are kind of tired, making these bent over rows a little bit more challenging. So getting that elbow up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. 8 on each side. And I lost count. So 1 more for good measure. And right back to your skiers. Okay, so get yourself nice and steady. So you should really be squeezing those glutes on the way up at the top. If you don't like these and you want to do regular swings, have at it. Let me give you a time check. All right, so you're just about halfway. If you want to do those single arm rows on a chair, it's going to look like this. And then just switch sides. No matter which bent over row you choose, your back is flat, core is engaged. These skiers will get you. All right. So you're kind of using the momentum of those weights to just sit back, get a little bit of a hip hinge. Good. Let me give you another time check. Awesome. We have exactly a minute. So fit in what you can. So you're really only competing against yourself here, yourself and the clock. That's really the beauty of these AMRAP workouts. All right, so fit in what you can. You're almost through this interval. Almost there, keep pushing. Whew. Let me check your time. Oh, and that's time. Awesome. Okay, so we got 2 down. So number 3, set 3 is halos. So you're gonna get on the floor, and if your hip mobility allows, you're gonna be kind of in this, I'm not sure what to call this, side, like you're riding a horse sideways. I don't know. Who does that? All right, and we're gonna do a halo, and then you're gonna turn, sorry. Let's start again. Okay, so you're starting down here. You're gonna come on up, halo, come on down, turn over, come on up, and halo. All right, and then you're gonna do it again. So we're gonna do 6 in each direction because they're gonna take a while. Let's do 5 in each direction because it'll take a while. And then 10 push-ups. So you can do your push-ups however you want, on your toes, on your knees, you can use your chair, whatever you need to do. So 5 halos in each direction. Okay, I'm gonna be doing them with you, so you don't have to understand it completely yet. And then 10 push-ups. So let's start our timer. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're down here. You're gonna come on up, do your halo, turn over to the side, up, halo the other direction. Good. So this is like a core exercise, but it's also a good hip mobility exercise. Okay, so when you come on up for that halo, make sure your core is nice and tight. Get that hip mobility. And I have completely lost track of my count. I'll do one more on each side. Hopefully you're counting for yourself. Good. And then you're gonna come down for your push-ups, whatever kind of push-ups you're doing. I recommend that you start with the hardest version and then go easier if you're not sure. So challenge yourself to maybe do 5 regular and then 5 knee push-ups. If you're doing knee push-ups, keep your butt down out of the air. Good, so I'm actually gonna switch and use a kettlebell for this. So this is gonna be harder with more weight, like anything, right? So if you're gonna do it with a kettlebell, I like to hold it upside down like this. You're gonna come on up, go around. Yeah, much harder. And then switch sides. Good. Once you grab a heavier weight for these, you're gonna feel this in your lats, shoulders. And as you're transitioning, I try to keep my feet attached to the floor. That's kind of the challenge for your hip mobility. Obviously, if that doesn't work for you and you have to lift a little bit, that's okay. All right, I think that's 5 on each side for me. Give you a time check. All right, so you have less than 90 seconds. Good, keep moving through. Less than a minute. Good, so you're kind of going like around your head. I like to bring it kind of like in front of my face. That's why it's a halo. Didn't Beyonce have a song called Halo? I love that song. Good, we're almost there. All right, finish with push-ups. Well, doesn't matter actually, you finish wherever you are. And that's time. All right, nice work. Okay, so next we have kind of like a devil press, if you've joined me before, but it's gonna be a renegade row and a jump up. So it's gonna look like this. You're gonna be down in a plank, you're gonna row, row, and then we're gonna just jump up like you're finishing a burpee, curl to press, kind of, okay? And that's one. And you're only gonna do 5 of these. Doesn't sound like very much, but it will feel like a lot. And then after you do those modified devil presses, whatever we're gonna call them, we're gonna just do 10 bicep curls, okay? And I'll talk you through those. All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1. So you're down in that plank, you're gonna row, row, and then come on up to a press. If you don't want to do the press at the top, that's okay. If you want to just come on up and then go back down, it's up to you. So this is, oh, I added a push-up, don't do that. It's just a memory, I guess. Just rowing and coming up. And I think I have one more. Good. And then when you're ready, hold on to those weights. And a little bicep curl action. And I want you to keep your elbows kind of glued to the sides. You keep going. Close this. Getting too much sun. Your timer's still going, so you do what you need to do. Okay. So row, row, come on up. Gonna have to close the other side too. Not much of an interval for me. Apologies. Ugh. Okay, well, that's as good as it's gonna get. Keep moving. I'll give you a time check soon. Good, let's see where you are. All right, you have a little less than 90 seconds. So on those curls, keep your elbows at your sides. So you're not swinging the weights, you're not using momentum. Good. We're almost there. Row, row, come on up. We're almost there. I'll say it again. All right, let me give you a quick time check. All right, just a few more reps. Got about 15 seconds. Core is tight. Whew. You got it, and that's time. All right, we have one more set to go. So you're actually not going to need your weights for these. I'm going to put a mat down. So I think last week we did dead bugs. And I think these are pretty great. So we're going to do dead bugs, which are going to look like this. So you're down. You're going to start with your legs up at 90 degrees. Hands are straight up in the air. I like to do this with my head down, but if you need an extra challenge, you can lift your neck, lift your head up. So to start, you're going to just tilt your pelvis so that your lower back doesn't have space against the floor, and we're going to alternate. All right, so that's the movement. Don't underestimate it. And then for the second part, we're going to, I'm just going to move this, and then I'm going to go lunge, switch, and pulse. Okay, so however many switches you want to do until you get to that other side, and you're going to just do a little pulse when you get down to that lunge. So we're going to do 8 dead bugs on each side and 8 lunges on each side, just to make it easy to remember. So let's start the clock in 3, 2, 1. So we're going to start with dead bugs. And again, legs are at 90 degrees, kind of tilt the pelvis so you don't have a lot of space back here. And I'm not going to have room because we're working out at home. So alternating, okay? So left arm, gosh, I always have to really think about it in the beginning. Left arm, right leg, right arm, left leg. And remember, keep that space as minimal as possible under your lower back. And if you do that, you're really going to feel it in here. I know it looks super simple, like maybe this would be like in your grandma's Pilates class. But if you're doing it right, you might even feel like the shakes. I get the shakes. And I have completely lost count. So I'm going to call that 8 for me. And then you're going to change to your lunges. Switch using those arms. Don't forget that pulse. And And use the arms. You got it. Let's do a little time check. Okay, you got less than 2 minutes here, so you're more than halfway. And again, kind of tuck those hips up and alternate. Oh, gosh, there's just not enough space. Gotta really think about it. The secret here, really, even more important than your count, this is how I lose track. More important than your count is your lower back touching the floor? All right, so you want to make sure that your lower back is not arching. And if it's really glued to the floor, this should feel like work. I have no concept of my count, so hope you're counting your own. Okay, so we're almost there. Just little switches. And that's time. All right, nice work. All right, that's the end of our last interval. So let's do a little bit of cool down. So find your mat or whatever you're working with. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're gonna do a little cat camel or cat cow, I don't know. Arch your back, look up. Arch your back, look through your knees. Other way. And down. Good. Up, last one. And down. Good. We're gonna bring it to a high plank. Slowly lower yourself down. And then with your hands under your shoulders, push up, look up. So I think of this as the Little Mermaid stretch. Like when she comes up out of the water. And you're gonna send your hips up and back for down dog. Kind of pedal your feet. Whatever you need to do here. Open your shoulders. And wiggle your head around. Take one more breath. And bring it back to that high plank. Slowly lower down. Again, Little Mermaid stretch. Up, lift your hips just an inch off the mat and squeeze your glutes. Feels good after too much sitting. Okay, send those hips back over your heels. Open up your knees if you need a little bit of space. And walk your hands forward. Rest your head for a second. Good, let's come on up. And last time, we're gonna do this in the remote world. Last time I'm gonna do it in the remote world. Right hand up and pat yourself on the back. Nice work today. Thanks for being here. And hopefully I'll see you in person soon. Bye.